Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. We're really happy you joined us today. We're looking forward to our time.
My chair is too close here. I got to move back here.
Am I too close?
No, you be wherever you like. Welcome, everybody. Glad you're here with us today. Today, we're going through a very exciting time for us because it's the sexual energy activation, which is really powerful for us. We've been doing this actually all over the world now for, I don't know how many years, probably about 5 or 6 years, 7 years, something of that nature, where we've given this particular seminar. Now, this one's different. If you've taken the seminar from us before, we've taken the best pieces of this and also the new pieces, because the world has changed.
Oh, that's an understatement. But I want to thank you for joining us, because it takes a lot of courage to participate or join in a sexual energy, because the word sex scares a lot of people.
Well, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It does. Well, that's part of the reason that we called this a sexual energy activation. We have also recently done the balancing sexual energy, which is quite different. That's about the masculine and the feminine and making space for the feminine energy basically to return to Earth in its full power.
Well, I think that the group had it in the right order, because, you know, you have to balance yourself first to feel whole and centered, and then you can explore more of who you are, understanding your sexual energy.
Well, that's what we're going to actually bring up, and you'll see that here today. So when we talk about balancing sexual energy, what we're really talking about is balancing the masculine and the feminine within each one of us. And the group has actually talked a lot about that. We're going to bring that up a little bit today. And we have a few things we're going to bring you right here on the set here in the Evolution Center. And then we'll move over to Studio A and bring in the live channel and bring that in along with the activation today. We've been working a lot with our technologies and a lot of the information that we give out, and we're really looking forward to this today.
Well, we wanted today to be free so that as many of you as possible could join us and to get a little idea of where we're going with this information. And if you can join us for the rest of the time, that's wonderful. But I'm sure that you'll get something out of today, because we wanted to really present some information that will be helpful, I think.
Well, and this activation is all about making your eyes brighter, basically making you more carrying more of your spirit in the physical body. Now, that is usually not equated with sexual energy. Sexual energy is usually about attraction, magnetism, all of that kind of stuff what people talk about. But what we're going to be talking about is how can you be more of a person? And it's not about the right or wrong about sexuality or anything else. This is about the inner being of our spirit and how it expresses itself in a physical body, very simply.
How your spirit can soar and shine through this physical body of yours.
Right. So this is not a place where we're not going to actually be talking about the act of sex. That's not the purpose of this. We assume that all of you already know the act of sex, so we're not going to cover that one.
That was 6101. I think we gave that a few months ago.
We're in 102 or 201 now, whatever it is. But anyway, basically, that's what we're going to be covering today, and what the group will be talking about is the inner force. Now, a lot of times, this has been called in other circumstances. Other teachers call it different things. It's often referred to as chi or prana. We specifically, by the directions from the group, call it sexual energy, for the very simple reason that the group says humans are afraid of that word. We're absolutely afraid of that word. Now, here's the reason that they really wanted to do this. Why are we doing these sexual energy seminars, and especially now? There's so many people that have made this transition into the new world and had challenges with it. Major challenges that we literally, the last year, we stopped our regular procession of seminars, and we addressed almost everything into what we needed right in this second, and literally changed everything. Our whole staff went crazy around here, last minute changes and stuff.
So many people we heard from, in the past felt stuck and unsure, and as we began this new time, we're all kind of feeling our way of like where we're going from here. And this information that we're going to talk about hopefully will help you understand yourself more and walk a little taller in who you are.
That's the idea. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit so we can see, because we do want to bring in the the visual there, and we are going to use the screen a little bit today while we get started, and then we'll go over into Studio A. And
one thing I do want to bring up, because other people may have this question too. What we're talking about, how is this different than the Kundalini?
Kundalini energy is sexual energy. Very simple. This could be called chi, prana, Kundalini, any of those. Now, Kundalini is the energy that crawls up and down and weaves in and out of the spine. You see it every time you see the American Medical Society that has that two snakes that basically that is actually the Kundalini energy. And many of our seminars work with Kundalini energy. I don't want to just simply say this is a Kundalini activation. It's much more than that. Because what we're doing is trying to give everybody a larger vision of really what this is. And hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit more. And when we take you through some of these things, I'm even going to show you pictures today of people and just say, tell me what you think of their sexual energy. What do you think of theirs? What do you think of this? So you can kind of see how it shows. Now, I will tell you, I do have a problem with this particular seminar and my pictures that I use. And that's the reason, because the simple reason is I buy these pictures. I have to have copyright to be able to use these. So the pictures that I'm actually showing you today, most of them are professional models. That makes it difficult to actually show you what it looks like, sexual energy, because everybody's trying to look that way anyway.
And so they're picture perfect.
Exactly. Everybody's trying to look with their really bright eyes.
I wish I could have gone out in the public, like in an airport, and with my camera and just taken pictures of people, but you can't do
I've got a few. I'll show you some of those today as we're kind of going through this. But it's difficult for me to just give you a picture of what this looks like. Every time I see it, I can point to somebody and I can say, look at the energy coming off of that person, Barbara, and she'll look over there and she'll go, yeah, they're just bright, they're shining. And we can be in an airport and have that happen. We can be waiting for our luggage and spot people like that. That is fun. That is fun. Once you start to learn to see it in other people, you learn what you need to do to bring it into you. It's real easy. It's real simple. So these are the exercises we're going to go through today. We will be doing a very special activation at the end. It's going to be about 20, 25 minutes long, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I really look forward to this one. It's unique. I'll simply say that. Well, I've spent a lot of time on this one. This one's some of our new level of work that we're very excited about. So we'd love to hear from you too. We'd love to hear any feedback that you have. Usually at the bottom of the page of Lightworker, or at the bottom of Paths to Empowerment, whichever site you're on, you'll find a little form that you can send us your ideas or your comments. If you have any, we'd love to hear them. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk a little bit first about what sexual energy is really and the whole process of it. And we're going to be working with this in a couple different areas. We've got the screen, of course, that's right behind Barbara, but I can bring it on this full screen as well so we can kind of be there. So what is the sexual energy? Well, let's start by defining that a little bit. What does it actually look like? We know what we think is sexy, but that is not always what we're talking about here. What we're really talking about here more than anything else is the brightness in the eyes. When you can look at another person and see their spirit, now you are connected not only to your sexual energy but to theirs.
Well, we're all trying to develop and understand our spiritual part of who we are. We call this spiritual confidence. By understanding our sexual energy, it's your physical confidence. Because it's true, you walk a little taller, your eyes shine when you feel so sure of yourself. It is a confidence of understanding your physical body and your mind together and having people see you as you really are.
Your microphone's not quite as loud as mine. Maybe we can get Austin to come in here and fix it here in just a second, but we'll see if we can put that out. But I also, thank you, buddy. If you turn her up a little bit, appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, we just didn't have, we try to balance everything and then we go live and something's always a little bit out of balance. So just bring her up a little bit. That's great. All right, good. Okay, so we're going to get into a little bit more of this and talk about it. Barb will do some of these readings off here. These are from the group.
The act of sex in any form is an opportunity to balance the masculine, feminine. Life within a field of duality gives the illusion that your sexual expression is male or female.
And it's not, obviously. We carry both within our being all the time. It's balancing that energy that's difficult for us sometimes. Previous lifetimes, we haven't been motivated to balance it. It's only in the most recent, maybe 50 years, that we've actually been aware of the connection. And of course, all you have to do today is to turn on the television, and you'll see all the exposure, all the coming out of people who have been hiding, basically.
Well, it's amazing because, the shows that we watched, the TV shows when we were children, and if you were to watch reruns of those now, you would just laugh. I mean, people didn't even sleep in the same bed.
That's right.
And it was very much determined, the little woman and the man who earns the money, and it's all changed so much where we are equal in so many levels.
When I was a child, we were watching Rob and Laura Petrie have the first bedroom scene ever. It was it was the silliest thing because they were just sitting on the bed. The rules were that you had to have 1 foot on the ground if you were going to film a bedroom
Well, they were
scene.
twin beds. Yeah,
That's how,
they definitely.
Yeah, and of course they were